What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. Got all your Juventus news, and it's a little quiet out there. Kind of this calm before the storm ahead of the massive Derby d'Italia tomorrow, all right? We are going to be live 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I am going to be bringing you a live watch along, all right? I might be a little under the weather these past few days, but I am going to be guns blazing tomorrow, all right? And while it's still calm and quiet in the news, we still have a lot to talk about because there is a rumor linking Inter and Juventus and Adrian Rabiot. We'll take a look at that. Two pieces of news from yesterday. Felipe Anderson, we have an update on that one we'll take a look at today. But then Cambiaso sparked a very, very good and interesting discussion while I was in fan club chats and even the AJC Army one, all right? And we were talking about the importance of Italians in Juve's roster, sparking from the Cambiaso rumor. Max Allegri also addresses the Cambiaso rumor in his press conference, and we're going to take a look at the full presser in this one and the big question of who is going to start. Up top, we have a new projected lineup today, all right? So like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. First things first, Felipe Anderson. We heard the rumors yesterday that his sister/agent was going to be meeting with Juventus over the next couple days. Today, the rumor says that it is going to be potentially finalized next week and that everything is in place and that Felipe Anderson has given his green light to join Juventus. It's going to be at 4 million euros for 4 years, taking it to 2028. What did I say over the past few days in terms of Felipe Anderson? There's no way I can see Giuntoli signing a player like this in that age bracket or whatnot to 2028. However, I have learned to never rule anything out. We have seen so many pieces of evidence, even with our own club. Bremer, Vlahovic coming when seemingly out of nowhere. All right, I am not going to rule out that we would sign Felipe Anderson to a 4-year deal. The kicker is, what's on the flip side of it? If Felipe Anderson comes in, does that mean one of our good valued forwards like Chiesa or maybe Sule or whatever is moved and this is a protection move? I don't know. We will see. But this one could be wrapped up next week. All right. Now, in terms of never ruling anything out, the Cambiaso rumors that came at us yesterday, okay, with Real Madrid potentially being interested for 40 to 50 million euros. A lot of fans immediately brushed it off saying this is fake news. I don't rule anything out. And is it that out of the ordinary? Is it that unbelievable to think that a squad like Real Madrid, who is made of living off stockpiling good, talented players on the bench, sometimes having 2 starting 11s, would be interested in a player like Cambiaso, who is very talented, young, extremely versatile for 40 to 50 million euros? Is that hard to believe? I personally don't think so, but I think it's a good thing. And Max Allegri said so as well in his presser, saying that, you know what, when it comes to Cambiaso rumors, these are pleasing, especially in regards to his value. If you're Juventus, you want rumors like this happening. You want your players being linked with clubs like that, all right? So it's good, it's positive. But in the long run, I want to see Cambiaso stay at Juventus for quite some time, and I believe they have zero intentions of moving him. But that said, this shines a light on a topic that comes up periodically around Juventus, and I've always remained steady on this thought process for me, and that is this is why it is extremely important for a club like Juventus, with the esteem, the high regard that players out of Italy hold them to. It's extremely important for moments like this to see how crucial it is for Juventus to pluck the best Italian talent, all right, and have a solid Italian core always amongst the roster, because if they start to take off, if they start to hit like that, they would be the ones to think twice at jumping when clubs like that come knocking. All right, we kind of went through this one immediately with Matthias de Ligt with Bayern and whatnot. He didn't hesitate, all right, and he was ready to get the keys and be the guy for Juve, and he jumped so fast. I always feel that with Italians, it is never going to be that easy to pull them from Juventus because of the high regard Italian players put Juventus in. Now, that said, That's not to say that the foreigners don't ever do that, and we haven't seen examples of that, because we have seen examples of that. I'm just saying, I personally believe this is why it's important for Juventus to always have a solid Italian core amongst the roster, because I think it is more likely they are willing to turn up offers like that. All right. What do you think? Are you on the same page as me, or do you think it just comes down to the player has nothing to do with the nationality? Hit me in the comments section. All right, now we get to Inter, Juve, Rabiot, all intertwined in a rumor. Could it all just be fake news? Absolutely. All right, but does it make sense? Yeah, it would make sense, as apparently it's being reported Inter is looking at Adrien Rabiot and trying to bring him in next season. Why? They will most likely have to sell players again to line up with financial fair play, all right? And Barella is the name that is being reported as potentially being sold or whatnot. But nonetheless, in terms of Rabiot, what's being reported is that he has said no, and that he has remained consistent that it's either Juventus in Italy or he goes abroad. There is still a lot of optimism being reported out of Juve's camp that they will find an agreement to extend Adrien Rabiot. Some of these tabloids have also gone as far to say Juve is infuriated and annoyed at Inter trying to get Rabiot. But I mean, overall, this whole thing does make sense. They are going to have to sell to come in line with fair play and whatnot. And Rabiot's on a free. He's been one of the top midfielders in the league over the past couple of years, so it makes sense. But is it going to happen? I honestly don't think so. I do actually believe that Rabiot will renew with Juventus. Now, this is a whole separate discussion. How do you feel about Adrien Rabiot renewing at Juventus? I kind of flip on this one all the time. I've found myself changing my own mind about 25, 30 times on this. There was a time when Adrien Rabiot on the salary he's at, I said there is no way we can have this guy at that salary, all right? But now, last year, I didn't care about the salary because he was huge for us. This year, he's proven, especially in his absences, how valuable he is, albeit though not as strong as he was last season. But it's been different. And as of late, we started to see a two-man pivot forming out of him and Locatelli, which they work together magnificently. So I am for the renewal of Adrien Rabiot, and I would go as far to say even at the same money I would do it, but I'm done with these 1 years. Let's make it a 2-year. But of course, lowering the salary would be perfection for Juventus, but I would probably even do it at the same. It is a lot of money, but he has shown his importance. All right, now again, ask me tomorrow, I might change my answer again. I find this Rabiot one very, very difficult, but in the summer mercado, if we can get an offensive-minded, strong midfielder to come in and join what Locatelli and Rabiot have established, I think we're cooking, all right? But you guys know the drill. Hit me in the comments. All right, now we get to Allegri's presser ahead of the massive game tomorrow. We're going to be live 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm bringing you a watch along. Huge Derby d'Italia, all right? Chiesa, Rabiot, McKennie, Giallo, Alcaraz, all in the squad list, all right? But Max says as far as Giallo goes, he's slowly going to have to be integrated because he's coming back from a serious injury. In terms of Alcaraz, he still needs to get accustomed to everything and whatnot. But will Mad Max surprise us? At some point in that game, you just never know. As far as the starting lineup says, Max Allegri says he has not decided on anything as of now, but I think it's all decided other than one position, all right? Keane, he says that is an extra weapon to us now. We thought we would lose him. He still remains. We had a positive discussion, and he said, I told him just to simply focus on recovering as soon as possible, all right? As far as the game goes tomorrow, he says we have to have a strong performance. We have to have the focus and desire to get a positive result, as Inter are very good and obviously favorites to win the Scudetto, all right? Does tomorrow decide it? Max Allegri says no. 2 draws can change the outcome significantly, all right? And there are crucial points scattered all across the journey. For us, it is important to just focus on one match at a time. We will assess everything at the end of tomorrow, all right? So there you have it. The projected lineup is this. Szczesny in goal. Gatti, Bremer, Danilo, Cambiaso, McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic, and Yildiz next to Vlahovic, all right? That's your update. You guys know the drill. We're one sleep away. Let me know how you're feeling ahead of this big one tomorrow. I hope to see you all on the live shows tomorrow, all right? Let's get hyped up. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Like the video, subscribe, comment. Let's mix it up. We're one sleep away from this massive one tomorrow. Ciao tutti.